Hi, good day to all. This is Kelvin here again. Today I'll be sharing with you our CMC baskets analysis. My focus for today will be on the European banks. Why? Because I have started to spot some very interesting technical configuration on the European banks share basket where it had lagged the broader market in the past 2 weeks. So before we start our analysis, let's take a look at the disclaimer slides first. All right, now let me take you to CMC markets platform. Okay, so what I'm here over here is that before I start on the European banks share basket analysis, what I tend to do is I will always be interested to know what is the relative strength of the European banks versus the various benchmark stock indices. The reason why I'm doing this kind of analysis is I want to see whether there is upside momentum or downside momentum has started to take shape in the European banks share basket. So what I do over here is that let me drag the European banks to this chart over here. So now let me briefly explain to you all what this chart actually means. So basically what this chart over here is trying to actually show the percentage or the performance of the various benchmark stock indices. The one highlighted in blue will be the US Nasdaq 100. In orange will be the SPX 500, and the one in green will be the Euro Stock 50, which is I would say the benchmark stock indices to gauge the European stock market. Okay, then the one in purple will be the European banks share basket. All right. So what we could see over here is that let me drag this to around this area of 19th of March. So as we know that 19th of March last year, this is where the major bottom, the current major bottom of this ongoing major bullish uptrend phase that was seen across the global stock indices. So as we could see, the one that is still outperforming against the rest of the pack will be the Nasdaq 100, then followed by the S&P, then you have the the Euro 50, and as well as the European banks lagging behind. But what's interesting over here is if we could actually shift the time frame to closer to where we are today, let's say this on the fourth quarter of last year, which is on the 2nd of October. Okay, 1st October, pardon me. So if you look at since 1st of October, which is the start of Q4 last year, very surprisingly, European banks have started to outperform the pack. Okay, even outperform the Nasdaq 100, the S&P 500, as well as its European benchmark index, with the Euro 50. So what we could see over here is that number one, it has been a kind of phenomenal cyclical team play that is seen across the globe. That means taking shape from US, Europe, and even in Asia. And that one that is lagging behind, which is the European banks, has now to play a decent catch up. And how about let's say we bring the time frame to much nearer. Let's say year to date performance. That means since the start of this year, which is 4th of Jan 2021. So you look at 4th of Jan 2021, in the last 2 weeks, yes, we see a bit of underperformance of the European banks, underperform the European banks. But if you look at it in the start of this week, the European banks has now starts to actually outperform. Started not pardon me, not outperform. Pardon me, it has started to actually reduce its current underperformance since being seen at the start of this year. So what it means is, i.e., the last 2 weeks of underperformance or decline in the European banks market against the rest of the benchmark indices has starts to narrow down. And in terms of probability, there is actually a high chance at this juncture for the European banks to actually continue its outperformance that has been seen since the start of Q4 last year. All right. So now let's take a look at the technical analysis of the European banks share baskets. All right, over here. Okay, so what's interesting I want to highlight over here is this European bank share basket. In fact, since the start of was it 17th of March 2020 last year, all the way to 28th of October 2020, it has been tracing what we call a double bottom bullish technical configuration, which actually indicate major a potential major bullish reversal configuration to actually kickstart a major bullish impulsive uptrend. Okay, what I mean by major, that means we're talking about close to about 1 to 3 months of movement. And what interesting is over here is that since the start of this year, I would say the second week of January 2021, it has started to shape a decline, I would say a pullback. And where does this pullback actually stop? It actually stopped very close to the neckline resistance of this double bottom that has been taken out. Okay, let me draw the support level for you all. All right, so you could see it's at 2840. So where it actually stopped is actually stopped very nicely at this on the 28th of Jan, forming a bullish candlestick pattern. Then thereafter, 2 small days of small body, no significant bearish pressure, and we start to see a decent follow up yesterday where it actually has a daily close above the high of this bullish reversal candlestick that has been cited on 28th of Jan 2021. Okay, so what's interesting is on the momentum as well. If you look at the RSI, the daily RSI, which is a measurement of upside and downside momentum, where it actually shaped a bounce, it actually bounced off from a corresponding support level since the low of 25th of September. Okay, connecting to the lows of here, where is the start of this double bottom formation. So what we could see, okay, let me change this color to be in green. All right, so what we could see is a very nice bounce on the RSI right at a key corresponding support level, which indicate to us a revival of medium-term upside momentum that could potentially support further price action movement on the European banks share basket. So the next resistance level to actually for us to watch will be the definitely the recent January high, the 8 Jan swing high before this pullback started. Okay, let me draw the line for you. Okay, so what we could see over here is that the resistance at 3,319 level. So if we start to see a bullish breakout of this level, it could potentially take us higher. So how high can it go? I can do a Fibonacci projection taken from here to at least 2 times. Okay, so if you see at least 2 times of the Fibo projection, it's actually forming right exactly at this gap down, the gap down resistance from 21st of Feb last year to 24th of Feb. So where is this gap? All right, if I were to put the gap over here, okay. So the next resistance to actually watch out for in the coming 1 to 3 months will be at 3,910 followed by 4,000 level, which is the 2 times Fibo projection as well as the gap resistance since from here. So definitely for those who are actually more conservative, to look for a lower level of resistance will definitely be this previous swing support or previous we call it a swing low of 30th of October 2019 to 28th of Jan 2020, which will be acting as a resistance at around this 3,700 level. Okay, so all in all, what we could see is that there are more positive elements on this European banks share basket, where it actually shaped a pullback, then thereafter a bullish reversal candlestick right at the neckline resistance now turns into a pullback support at 2,840. So that will be my key medium-term pivotal support to maintain this bullish bias on the European banks share basket. But however, if we start to see a daily close below 2,840, it will actually validate this preferred bullish bias, where this pullback will start to evolve into a more pronounced corrective decline towards the next support at this level. All right, at this conjunction level, which is at 2,295. Okay, so that's all I have for now on our share basket analysis, and I see you all next in my next video.